Hi guys, today session how to write our first test case into using the Playwright. So first of all, uh, the Playwright tests are very simple and they perform actions and assert the state against the expectations. That means the Playwright why we are using. Okay, so there is if any web application if you are taking, so what are the actions we can do. Okay, so if any test like if any test cases any test field is there, okay, in that case, okay, so we can fill the data, okay, and also if any checkbox is there we can check, if any button is there we can click, if any radio button is there we click on the radio button, okay, if any tabs are there we are switching to moving to that other tab, okay, by clicking on any button the new tab will be displayed. So these are the many actions we can do in commonly in the web applications. So what are the basic actions we can do, okay, using Playwright or any web application and any automation thing, any manual thing. So these are the common actions. Okay, so using the Playwright, so what are the actions we can see? Click, check. Okay, click means so if any element is there like button, okay, commonly we are using click element, click on buttons, links, right? So locator dot click, so and also be check. So what is exactly check? We can check the checkbox, okay, checkbox, okay. So if any checkbox is already checked, okay, then we can uncheck the checkbox. So it is a uncheck method is available. This locator dot uncheck method is used for uncheck the checkbox, okay. And mouse over if any if we have multiple tabs are there, so we can mouse over on any element, like that we can fill any text, any value into the text box, okay, text field, area field, okay, so it is fill. And focus, so specifically if you want that element is you want to focus on specific element, so locator dot focus, press, so single click, if you click then after you need to enter any value, so locator dot press. So if select input files means if any file is if you want to upload, then you can use set input files is a method. And select option, so if any select drop down is there, so in that case you can use select option is the method, it is used for selecting an option from the drop down. So these are the commonly we are using actions in the Playwright. So and also be assertions, so we are talking about what exactly we are talking about here. Playwright tests are simple, they perform actions and assert the state against the expectations, right? So what are the expectations means if any value is displayed, so as a QA, so our aim is to identify that element, okay, is visible in that page or not, and also if the link is present on the present or not, and also if you click on specific link that web page is open or not, okay. So similar way we have multiple assertions, like these are the assertions available in Playwright. So to be checked, so means we already checked the checkbox, the checkbox is checked state or not, so we can use it to be checked, okay. Expect is the method where it is used for asserting, okay, assertions. So in the Java how we are using assert equals, right? So here the expect, okay, the expect keyword means the expect method, okay, it will be used for asserting specific element, okay. So expect on top of it we can use to be checked, to be enabled, to be visible, to be content text, to have attribute, okay. So if any element is enabled, like if button is displayed in this page, okay, that page in that the button you have to click before going to click on that button, so is it enabled or not, so we have to use to be enabled. So any element is visible or not, so we have some elements it is or sometimes it is invisible state. So if you want it is visible in the space or not, okay, element is, so it's not specific to text or something, okay, it's any element, okay, that element is available and it would be visible or not, we have to use to be visible method. to contain text. If you want any specific text you want to verify to be contain text. To have attribute, sometimes we have, for example, okay, any image we have anchor alt image, okay, alt is a attribute for specific image, okay, so that alt attribute is available or not. So like that, if any specific attributes available, it is present in the that HTML tag or XML tag, okay, it is available that attribute or not, we have to using to have attribute, okay. To have count, for example, there is a 5 links, so you want to verify the count is 5 or not. The list of elements has given length, okay, so you have to use to have count. To have text, so the element matches what are the text you want to verify in that page, it is have the text into the page or not, so you have to use expect the locator to have text, okay. To have value, we have any input element, for example, okay, the HTML tag have input tag, okay, the input tag having, okay, some value equal, for example, select drop down, there is options. In the options itself, for example, country drop down, so each country we have, in select box we have different options: India, US, Canada, Africa, okay, likewise Japan, okay, so many countries are there. So the value which is we are seeing, that is the value, but the specific in the options itself we have some value attributes as well. So the value attributes, maybe sometimes it's a shortcut, like if it is in English, en will be available, okay. For example, it is Japan, it is all capital, but in inside value it is having small j, small a, small v, like all are small characters, okay. So the value we have to verify, so in that case we have use to have value, okay. To have title, so if any web application once you launch, so that application it is correctly launched or not, so how you can verify, so using to have title, to have URL. So this is the two basic things we have to verify the application of URL and application of title, we are in current page or not, okay. Perfect. So okay, let me go for first thing, okay. Again, come to this, and Playwright automatically waits for actionable checks to pass before performing each action. So what is this means? So in the Playwright, okay, we are writing our test cases, okay. What is exactly test case? It is we have to verify something into the web application. We have some following the steps. So launch the application, okay, enter some user ID, enter some password, click on some button, okay, login button. Thereafter we are navigating to the home page. Here we can successfully log into the application or not. So thereafter we are validating any other links, other actions into that page, okay. Before going to that, so what exactly the Playwright is doing is, so here it is follows the auto wait mechanism, means, so actually the steps are, it is asynchronous manner, right? So the Playwright, it follows asynchronous. So in the asynchronous manner, what it is going means, so one test case is executed one by one, so it will not follow the synchronized manner, means, so there is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 test case steps are there. So one step one is executing, meanwhile it will not completely executing, and it will go for the second step. So it will be, if it is running in the second step, it will be not going to the third or fourth step, it will be going to the fifth step. So this is not asynchronous, okay. So what is synchronous mean? So it will run one by one it is completed, then it will go to the two, then two is completely completed, then only it will go to the three. So like that it will follow the synchronous manner, okay. So this is Playwright is asynchronous, so that we are using async is a keyword, await is used for wait for the specific element to give the complete the promise, okay. So until the test step is executed, then only it will execute the next step. So until it will wait for execution, complete the execution. Okay, so if you see, Playwright automatically waits for actionable checks to pass before performing each action. You don't need to add any manual waits. So what exactly we are doing, if any test cases actually we are in a Selenium, for example, if some test cases are we are using and created some set of statements. So if some statements 1, 2, 3 are executed, thereafter fourth statement is taking more time. So in that case, okay, so what exactly we are doing, we need to give some extra time to wait to get that element is visible or not, or then only we need to click or any actions we are performing. For that we are using explicit wait or thread dot sleep to visible specific element to interact to specific element. Okay, so that extra time means that is an extra time waits, okay, giving into that specific condition into Selenium. But those type of time waiting times no need to give here into the Playwright, because it is built in auto wait mechanism is there. Okay, and you don't need to add manual waits. Okay, deal with race conditions. What exactly race condition means? What is the race condition? So race condition means very simple. Okay, there is 5 test steps are there. Okay, so 1, 2 are done. Now it is in third step. So third step is executing, but it is taking some long time. Okay, but before going to execute, if it is going to fourth step, the test case will fail at third step, right? So it is not, it is called race condition, means until the step number 3 is not completed, it should not go for the step number 4. This is called race condition. Okay, so these race conditions, how we can deal with, where auto wait mechanism it is handling that, so that you don't need any manual waits. Deal with race conditions. So Playwright SSS are designed to describe expectations that will eventually be met. So and also the flaky timeouts and race checks. What exactly flaky timeouts? Okay, what exactly flaky timeouts? What is the flakiness? Okay, we will discuss. For example, if there are 10 test cases are there, now we have started execution. First time there are 7 test cases are executed, the remaining 3 are failed. The same set of 10 test cases, if you are executing in second run, now the 3 test cases are passed, means the 10 test cases are passed. Now again third time if you are running, the 3 out of 3 there is 2 test cases are failed. Again if you rerun, it is again passed, means, so what are the test cases? If you are the second time it is running green, the first time it is failed. So this is called some flaky test cases. We need to identify those kind of test cases into Selenium, so that either we could handle it by adding any time intervals, so that it will be executed without any issues. Maybe it will be taking some internally, it will taking some long time to execute, means it is loading the page, so it is taking more time, so that it is failing at the same test case in the time in the Selenium. So here those kind of flaky timeouts it will be eliminated, means it is overcome that issue by using Playwright. Okay, so now we can go to, so how to write our first test case we can see. So then we can go one by one, what exactly the test, what exactly await, what exactly async, what is the exactly syntax for this test case. We can write our own test case. Okay, we can identify the elements as well. So how to we can identify the elements, we can step by step we can learn. Okay, so one more thing, like before going to writing any test case, okay, we have to know what is the syntax of each and everything, like the test case are keywords, what is the pace, what is expect, what is await, okay, and what is the fixture, what is the key components, what are the commonly used terminology in the Playwright. Okay, this is called commonly used any language, that the common words actually. Okay, for example, in C or C++ or Java, if you are taking, so what is a variable, what is a constant, what is the difference between the variable and constant, okay, and what is a interface, what is the class. So what it means, if you are seeing that specific syntax, you can now understand, okay, this is an interface. If you see that it is a class, so that you can easily identify and you can implement the same concepts in everywhere. Okay, for example, here we are implementing our first test case. Before going to that, so here we are identifying the elements. That is the main thing anywhere in automation. So that is a big challenge, right? So if you go to any application, okay, in the Selenium, we know like what are the types of locators. We know like ID, class name, CSS selector, XPath name, okay, link text, partial link text. So these many types of locators are there. So coming to the Playwright, so what are the types of locators in Playwright? So first we need to understand, so what are the common locators are available in the Playwright, so that it can be easy for identify that elements. How to we write, we can learn step by step. Okay, first we can check with the locators concept. See, what are the locators available? First of all, what is the locator? Okay, locator is any element, okay, in the web application to identify the element. That element are using locators. Okay, locators are central piece of Playwright's auto weighting and retrievability. Means the element means any piece of code, any line of web application, we need to identify by using locators. In nutshell, locators are represent a way to find elements on the page at any moment. See, this is the main thing. Okay, locators are represent a way to find elements on page at any moment. Okay, this is the main thing. So once we can find the way of identifying the locator, then we can move into the writing the test case. It is easy for best practice. Okay, what are the locator types it is available? There are recommended built-in locators are, see, page dot get by role, get by text, get by label, get by placeholder, get by alt text, get by title, get by test ID. So these are the locators in Playwright. So what exactly get by role? Okay, to locate by explicit or implicit accessibility attributes. Okay, to locate any element by explicit or implicit accessibility attributes. We can, what is this exactly meaning is, we can check in later. Okay, and by text, to locate by text content. If you want to verify any element, the text values, for example, this is a some web application, so this is a text login. Okay, for example, so user next credentials to execute login, this is the text. For example, this is the text, right? So these kind of texts we can see any web applications, right? So we need to verify by using this locator. Okay, by text. So what exactly role? The role can be anything, like if it is a button, if it is a link, if it is a radio button, if it is a select box. Based on the role, we can identify the locator. Okay, we can see. And what is the get by label? Okay, the locator form controlled by associated with label text. Means, for example, if it is a text box in Selenium, the XPath or CSS or ID or name, okay, we can identify with this text box by using inspecting this element by using name or id or any of attribute uniquely identified for the specific element, so that we can easily identify it. But in the Playwright we have an extra feature, like with this label also we can uniquely identify this text box. Okay, got it? We can see one by one. So each and every text box, radio buttons, okay, normal buttons, okay, text area, check boxes, we can handle one by one. But first of all, you can see what type of locators are available in a Playwright, so that we can, while implementing, yes, we got to know, already remembering all the things, okay, by one. So what are the methods here available, we can take into look into that. Okay, next, so get by placeholder. What is get by placeholder? Sometimes the text box having the place values, for example, enter username will be available inside the text box, that is a placeholder. Enter some password into this password field, so that is a placeholder for this text box to identify the element. So we can use, by using get by placeholder also be, we can identify the locator. And get by alt text, it is used for images. Get by title, so the title is, okay, to locate any element by its title attribute. So for example, any page, if you can identify, okay, title, okay, see this is the title. Not only this, sometimes internally the any what it is called, this element, okay, inside this element, for example, link is an attribute, like it is having the tag, right? So inside this tag we have, this is the title, correct? So this title is there, right? So this is the title attribute. Based on this title attribute we can identify that element. Okay, next, get by text id. So it is specifically having this type of field, test id attribute. If it is having any locator, but a web element having this attribute value, so that we can identify by using page.getByText method. Okay, so these are the different types of locators available in Playwright. Okay, now we can start. Okay, we can go for first test case. Okay, then we can write one test case, then we can go for one by one. Okay, now let me create. Before going to create, okay, you see what are the things it is available. The first statement would be import statement. So in Selenium also we have the required packages and classes related import statements are we are writing. Here also we are writing import statement. So what exactly import statements is there? So test and expect, these are the two things we are importing from Playwright/test package. Okay, so where we can find it? So if you find it from already, once we install, right, at the rate later Playwright test, under Playwright test class, this package we can identify the test and expect methods. Okay, the test and expect methods from this node modules package. Okay, so that's the reason we are importing the first statement test and expect from at the rate Playwright/test. So this is a one test, this is one test. Okay, so what is the test contains? The test method, it contains two arguments. One is title, this is has title, is a title we are giving, and second one is async arrow function. Okay, it is an arrow function. This statement, it is starting from here to closing here. What inside this? It is actual implementation of this test class, means what are the assertions, what is the navigation part. So all those steps will be inside this method only. Okay, so you understand, right? So it is having two arguments, one is title, second one is arrow function. Okay, let's create one more test here, file. So we can create, this is the way, one way, or we can click on new file, we can add this one. Okay, for example, first dot spec dot ts. So what is the first statement here? Import, this is braces. Inside the braces, what we need to do? Test and expect. From which package? At the rate playwright slash test. Done. So first part is done. Now test. Okay, test method. So inside the test method, what we can do? So there is two arguments. Okay, what is two arguments? So this is an arrow function, so this is a title. Okay, so, done. Okay, verify the login functionality. Okay, verify the login functionality. Here you see, okay, what is this? This is an arrow function. This is arrow function. What exactly arrow function? Okay, so before going to that we can discuss, but okay, later we can discuss. Okay, actually what is arrow function means? For example, okay, there is a one function. Okay, the function name is sum. Okay, here the sum is a function. Here a plus b. Okay, a plus b. What is a? Some integer. Okay, for example, here we can give like const. Okay, const a and const b. Okay, simply it will returns, after that it will returns a plus b. Return a plus b. Instead of creating all those, it's simply, this is an arrow function. This arrow function, no need to create these variables. Okay, no return type, no method name. This is simply a plus b. The result, what are a, what are b, if you are giving, so it will return a plus b. Okay, so this is the arrow function. The same thing it will happen here also. Here we are mentioning page fixture, so the page fixture should be, so we can give page. So not only page fixture, this is the page fixture, it is a predefined fixture. Okay, means the browser, if you see, this is a implementation from page fixer. What exactly it is doing means, so the browser and context. Okay, how to implement. Okay, it is giving like this. Okay, so import test and export from this one. So test, basic test, async, page is a fixture, so await page, go to some URL. What is the URL if you want to give? Here you need to give the URL page.get by label, and page by get, the label is, we need to fill the value, user ID and password, and thereafter click on sign in button. So this is the implementation. Okay, in the same way, so this is a page class, it is a page fixture. Okay, this is a page fixture for page class. Okay, this is a page is in a isolated page instance created for each test. Pages are isolated between tests due to fixers.context isolation. Means, so each and every test case, the page is unique, means it is a independent, so it is an isolated. This is the most common fixture used in the test. Okay, got it? So page is declared, but its value is never read. Okay, so what exactly, this is a page fixture from page class. Okay, so what is the page class? It is an isolated page instance created for each test. pages are isolated between tests due to fixes.context. Okay, we will see later like how using browser context and page also we can launch, like define that Chrome browser and all the things. As of now, just we can, it is a fixture you can understand. Okay, page dot go to is a method. Okay, page dot go to is a method. So where we want to launch any application URL. For example, this is my application URL I want to launch here. Okay, so here if you see, go to is a method where it returns promise, where it returns promise. So wherever it is returns a promise, you must declare before the statement await is mandatory. Okay, await is mandatory. Correct. So the async and awaits are vice versa components. Means, so without async, the await will be not working. So without await, without async, without await, async will not work. Okay, so if you declare once async, then the errors will gone. See, if you write, if you remove this one, okay, what will happen? So is there any errors are showing? No, right? See what will happen. Npx, for example, playwright test. What is the test name? First dot spec dot ts. See, this is error throwing. See what is the error throwing here? It's failing. It is failing. Page dot go to not error botted, maybe frame was detached. Okay, it is a frame was detached. So navigating is waiting until load. This is failing due to not mentioning await keyword. Got it? So that is the reason. Once we declare as await, now the same test case step it will be, let's see, Control C, CLS. Next, same command I want to use. Now let me execute into Chrome and just let me try to, it is in headed mode. Project equal to Chromium, not Chrome. Okay. Hyphen headed. Now see, only one worker, one test. It is executed and launch the browser and with the application URL and close that. So my test case is passed. Okay. So what is the next step? So application is launched. I want to verify this application URL. So I mean correctly launching this page or not. Okay. How to get that URL? Page dot URL. Page dot URL. Okay. Let me print into console. You will get the URL of this page. Console.log. Log is the method. So we can, and again console.log page dot title. Let's see, run same test case. See, this is the our URL. This is returns promise, and also this is not returns any promise. Await is mandatory. So you got it right. It is not returning any promise, so that it is not written anything. It is printed the URL. But coming to the title, it returns promise. So await is a mandatory. Now let's run the same test case. See, now you can see both application URL and this is the title of the page. This is the title of the page. Expect is a method where this is a page.url. This is my locator to have or to be. So what is I expected? The URL should be this one. So you can see, so to be returns anything. So this is just verification point. So expected and okay, actual value it is written and it will return is true or false. Okay, here we'll get, but it is also be not throwing any promise, so that no need to wait. But expect, you can see this expect also. So it is not also be not throwing anything. Let's run it. Yes. So if you want to see this test results or npx, you can type it playwright. So we can report. So my suggestion is like type everything, so you will get the clear picture and what you are writing. Okay, so this is also be passed. See, expect page.url to be yes. Let's see it is failing. How we can fail it? Instead of login, I'm just giving test one. Okay, example, same test case I'm running. Let it fail. See, this test case is failed. See, so what is expected? This one, but what is received? This is received. Means, so here the report is clear picture with what are the expected value we are giving. So what exactly in the application, it is clearly capturing all the things into reports. So that is the reason compared to other automation tools, so Playwright is a clear vision with logs also be clear, expectation results also be, what is required also be, it is printing into the reports. Okay, the error why it is coming, what is the expected value, what it is received from the application. So it is simply showing complete information into the report. So it is a reporting also be very clear. We can see this report and we can understand. Okay, now I will change it back. Okay, fine. Similar way we can add one more SSN here also. So what is here? This is our title. Okay, we can validate in multiple ways. We can later one by one we can discuss in the next sessions. Okay, as of now I am just using to be is a method where we can verifying the assertion value. Fine. Now come to the locators part. So here I have my heading. Okay, so generally what we are doing in XPath or CSS or anything. Okay, here the first priority will go to the get by role. Okay, I will show you the locator identification in different ways. Okay, take Control F. So this is a heading h2 tag. So in this tag, so h2 the text equal to in single quotes can give this title, identify it. So what is this? One of one means, so it is identifying properly. If you see the highlighted thing also be the text login also be highlighted when I click on enter here. So means it is identified properly. But in the locators finding in Playwright, so this is not in first priority. So first priority will goes to get by role. How can we identify using get by role with this console? Okay, in this elements tab. So we have to install one extension, locator labs. Okay, locator labs, it is available the extension with Chrome browser. So you can once installed, you can see the locator labs here. If you see the same element, if I inspect here, it will show up the list of different ways get by role. Okay, so how it is page dot get by role, it is in a heading. So here it is taking two arguments like name. So what is the name of this one? Test login. Okay, here is an extra thing. Actually it is in level 2. Okay, if it is having matching a number of nodes, then we can go for the other steps, but as of now, so this is the identification name, the what is the value for this. So here it must be in braces. It's like a kind of array kind of thing. Okay, so it is what is type. Okay, get by role is what is the role, like it is a heading, label, button, radio or anything. So based on that, so h2 is comes under header section, h1, h2, h3, h4, h5. Okay, so those are comes under heading tags, right? So that's the reason. So it is heading is, so these are the defined labels for this identifying the element. If it is a select drop down, so it's a combo box. Okay, so we need to specify the specific name itself so that it can be identified. Other than that, so head or something, you can't try it like a way. So just you need to, what are the types are available, I will show you the detailed complete information. So for based on the locator type, okay, different element type. Okay, this is the name to identify what is the text you can identify in the for the specific element. Okay, so name colon we need to give into single quotation. Same thing we can here also we can identify the same element. So when we click on, when we write type page dot get by role, see get by button, so get by role button text box link. Okay, it is showing, but as of now different types. Okay, so get by role, it is supposed to support, like it is giving three options. Get by role, one is link, text box, button. Okay, but as of now we need this one, right? Get by role. Get by role. Here heading. Okay, heading. Second value is in the braces, we need to give name colon. So what is the value here? test. So the label what are we are heading, the text is there, right? So we can give, again it is on, right? Page dot get by role in single quotes, give the heading, comma, braces, name colon, in single quotes we can give specific name. Now click on this button. Okay, is not identified. Okay, it is the wrong. Yes, one more bracket is close. See, one element is identified. Okay, so in similar way we can identify with the get by role, okay, using this locator labs extension. So you can practice it, then you can get it handy, so that you can identify each and every element by using page dot get by role options. In similar way we can identify in multiple ways. So if you want to specific to CSS selector also you can write. Okay, so instead of XPath, okay, here I will tell you the CSS selector later. Okay, so as of now you see here also it will be available CSS selector. So page dot locator h2 has text. Okay, this is the CRX, this is the XPath where we already written, right? So this is the way you can write XPath. No need to write in this way, but we can it's normalized space equal to something is not required. Even though you can write same thing, you can copy here, you can paste it here. So instead of normalize and text you can mention, okay, some text equal to single quotes, you can identify the same element. So how many elements found here? One element it is found. So you can write and you can verify using this locator lab in different ways. So get by role, get by text, get by CSS selectors, get by XPath. Okay, so these are the absolute XPath. It's not fully not recommended. Don't go for this. So don't try also. Okay, because uh, it is not useful, because if any element is added in middle of any element, right, so it will fail. So don't try with absolute path. For only reason the structure of these elements, how it is there in the web elements, just for that reason you can see from the starting node to current node element, you need to see. For that only you need to identify what is exactly the absolute path and everything, but the actual thing need to be follow relative XPath. Okay, go with the relative XPath is a recommended one. Okay, so like this you can identify this element is visible or not. How can we validate? Expect or page dot locator, okay, page dot locator, this is a locator, single quotes we can give, this is our locator. So or directly can give this page dot locator, right? Why we should again, okay, this is already locator, right? Now to be expect, so inside expect only we need to give this locator to be visible. Okay, to be visible. So it is returns any promise, not right, but to be visible it returns promise. So that we need to give a weight here, not inside the expect for this locator. So as you, if you see, this is the way once we can step by step we can write, right? So where we can keep that await keyword, we clearly understand. So if you are trying for copy with any code, or if you generate the same code with any AI tools, using GitHub Copilot or any cloud tools, so it will generate the code, but you can't understand how it is implemented, where it is required. It's not, what is the changes we need to implement, or what is the ways of locators we can identify. Okay, so all these things we missed when we implementing code with any AI agent tools. Okay, but my suggestion is, who are learning from scratch, okay, who are wants to attend any interviews, so this is the way you can practice, so that it could be very handy, and so whenever the interviewer asks any questions, you can able to answer it. Okay, so as of now, once I will start this execution, once it is done, I will stop this session. Okay, in next session I will go with further element identification in different ways, and all the things I will cover into the next session. See, this test case is possible. How can you can see the results? So on text Playwright, show icon, test report. See, if you see in these reports also, this is the thing what is happening here before hooks. Okay, before hooks. So here I already told you, like browser, context and page. So whenever we are calling this fixture itself, it is running these three steps. See, launch the browser, create the context, create the page. So after also, you are no need to create any, means, so how the constructor is creating the complete object information for, that means the data for the creation of any class. In similar way, the destructor will destroys the what is the memory allocation for that object, right? So the same way here, before hooks and afterwards doing the same thing. So what are the memory allocation for this browser context for this space? The same thing it is destroy after using this test case. Okay, afterwards fixture phase and fixture context, what it is, close the context. Here if you see, the context will be closed. So this is the, you can understand. So what is the before hooks and after hooks it is doing internally when you're using the phase fixture, right? So what exactly it is doing internally, it is calling browser. In the browser itself, it is launching the browser. In the phase context, it is creating the context for the phase. Next, the fixture will be create the page. Then only it will navigating, interacting with that page URL, and what are the actions we are doing. Thereafter, once it is done, so thereafter, after hooks it is calling, the phase is phase fixture again it is calling, and close the context for that page. Okay, this is happening with internally for each and every test. Okay, thanks for this watching this video. We'll see you in next session in the next video. Thank you all.